Right. Hello again. Um, so let's go back to intro, I guess. There's me, Wamba, who will be commentating on WuSeagal's run for the All Souls and Seals category for 9 Souls. So without further ado, I'll let you do the countdown, Wu, if it's no problem.
Okay, I just study. Three,
Okay.
two. Oh wait, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so what's this game about? So this game is some sort of Metroidvania-like game with elements like Sekiro, probably in a 2D perspective. Um, and our main character is he, who we're looking at right now. This cat-like character. What is being talked about in chat? Oh my god. So what does this category name mean, I guess? It's some sort of all main bosses like run, which we kill all the bosses that are tied to specific seals we get in the game. Like, yeah, I'm trying my best. Sorry. So yeah, let me give more info, more general info about the game. So this game has a lot of gore, by the way. Advice for the oh my god, advice for the week of I guess. And this game has been released like roughly a year ago, and I believe May 29th. And yeah, so this one will be. Yeah, thanks. Faint of heart. There we go. This run in particular will have a lot of spoilers about the main story. So yeah, amazing game by the way. If you want to play it, I highly recommend it. It's kind of hard but it has some accessibility options, which for players who don't want to risk that difficulty. So we're in the tutorial right now. Here it will be taught the basic mechanics of the game. And by the way, we're save quitting right now after killing that boar. Results that picking an item saves the game, so we can use that for our advantage at certain points of a run. So yeah, basically, in normal runs, we usually skip this section, which is the intro, basically, where it's mostly a lore intro, so there's a lot of cutscenes. Like it's mainly from 7 minutes of gameplay. There's only 1 minute of gameplay and 6 minutes of cutscenes. So that's why we in the leader world decide to skip it, basically. So yeah, basically we kill that boar, which gives us an item. We pick that item and we save and quit after that to skip walking around and kill, like breaking a wall and stuff that you learn in the tutorials, I guess. Yeah, and something we use there is, and we will be learning that soon after these few cutscenes, or we introduce to the lore of the game. Which is the talismans. The talismans are basically attacks that we can charge, like we can get charged for by pairing, and I think that's the only way. Thinking about it, yeah, like the parry, like the talisman tutorial will be after this cutscene right now. So, but even if we don't have the UI at the start of the run, you can still charge a talisman and use it. So that's what we use to kill that boar quickly. And yeah, basically. So here we're learning about our main character. She was at this point is oh my god, sorry. Let me mute my phone. So yeah. Here we learn about our silent character, which is not silent, but mysterious character, which is she, and his companion, child human thing, which is Xuan Xuan, who will be a kind of recurrent character on the rest of the run. And yeah, this intro is basically a lot of walking around and watching instead of playing. So that's what we're going to do. Human thing, yeah, that's what they are kind of. How do you say? This is what the main race of the game, which is the Solarians, define as the humans are like. Sorry. So yeah. So to put it on perspective, the humans are being harvested by the Solarians, which is kind of explained soon in the game. I will only be watching that much lore throughout the run, but some of the most spoilerish one. So yeah. By the way, this run has a lot of gore. This game in general has a lot of gore. So if you're faint of heart, you might want to close your eyes for a few seconds, or a minute maybe, because this cutscene is quite long. I was thinking of speaking about this at a later point of the run, but the developers of this game are they're mostly horror game developers, and this is their first Metroidvania, so it has still a lot of horror elements to the game. You will be seeing that throughout the rest of the run. Yeah, so yeah, there's some head crashing activities right now. Sorry for lack of seriousness, but yeah. Usually we skip those first 7 minutes of run to mostly because there's not much going on through these 7 minutes. So we want players to get on to the run right away as soon as they can. So usually skip this. This is our first talisman tutorial, which is the charge thing I explained earlier, and hack tutorial, which is also something that will be used throughout certain points of the run. So here we're saving our dear companion Xuan Xuan and hacking onto the first area of the game, the 8-man facility. I hope I'm not that far behind in the commentary. It's been a while since I've seen this cutscene, sorry. So yeah, we're on the first area of the game, where the Solarians, the main characters of the game, harvest the humans for certain stuffs. I don't want to spoiler, maybe. So yeah. So about the game and the runs, this run is basically done on a restricted rule set, which is not as restricted as you may think, because it only restricts 1 or 2 specific glitches that are like, first of all, the invincibility, because there's a few invincibility glitches that will, and considering that this is all major bosses, like, oh, that's a lot of noise, sorry. Okay, we're fine, I think. This is an all main bosses like category, which mainly focuses on combat. So invincibility will kind of make that combat quite irrelevant. There's another glitch that also can tend to invincibility, which is a name state storage. Thankfully, we banned for this category. Yeah, so yeah, and all souls and seals will basically be, as I explained there earlier, an all main bosses like category, which will be picking a seal from each of the main souls, which are like the, how do you call it? main figures made of each section of the game. And the souls, in this case, will be represented by the boss fights that are right next to each seal, or protecting each soul, more like. So, good luck, people saying on the chat for you, Wool. Yeah. So the combat of this game is pretty much quite timing based and field based, I guess. You have a parry mechanic, you have the talisman, which is like I'm not sure if it's a counter mechanic or more like a... Anyways. And you have dashes to avoid most attacks. There's many ways of avoiding attacks, but dash is one of the most important here and at most points of the game. Especially right now where we only have a ground dash. Spoilers, by the way. And yeah, so... sorry. Yeah, talismans are definitely the main game's gimmick. And we'll be seeing them quite a lot, especially later on when we unlock the special talismans. Yeah, it's a speedrun. Sorry for spoilers, by the way. So we reached the first boss fight of the run, or it's more like a mini boss. Here we'll be learning most of the core mechanics of the combat. We'll be using mostly talisman to do burst damages. And we have a full combo mechanic, which is like every 3 attacks we'll get a burst attack, and that burst attack usually lets us on a long cooldown, which we can cancel by either turning around or doing jumps, which doing jumps is usually the most common way of canceling those attacks. And yeah, I'm trying my best. Sorry. So yeah, we'll be seeing a lot of jump cancels mostly throughout the run, and a lot of so talismans usually. There's 2 types of damage in this game, which is the regular damage and then the internal damage. The internal damage is done throughout either talismans or special parries, which we unlock on the run later on. And by the way, that Tiger Elite is one of the many Tiger Elites that are on the game. We only will be fighting that one. So say bye to those many other Tiger Elites. Okay, so right now we'll be resting, like, not yet actually, sorry. We'll be reaching like our main hub area, which is the Four Seasons Pavilion. Sorry. Which is like the main area for Yi to rest on. And right now we will be unlocking the Nymph, which will be like a scout power up we will have throughout the run, and it will work for hacking many how do you call it? Thinking about it. Many like places, I guess. It can let us hack many places around the hidden in the map mostly. This one is the one that's used for glitches on other unrestricted categories, but we're on a restricted rule set, so hack points. Thanks. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best mentally right now. So yeah. So okay. We'll be like reestablishing, maybe is the word, I think, our safe zone by hacking our what is it? A core, a nucleus? I don't know. Our main protector, which actually you saw him in one of the cutscenes earlier throughout the run, which is Rui, that big core thing we just met right now. Here we'll be seeing Xuan Xuan back again. He followed us into this place somehow. Who knows how? and he will be annoying us. Like actually, I lied earlier. We won't be seeing him through like too much as other categories. Like he's really important for true ending categories or 100% of course, but in this one not that much. Okay, so I haven't been able to explain this earlier, but we have like our save points, which are the root nodes. We're watching one right now. I think if I'm not that far behind. Yeah, he's a really important character on the base game, but not that much here. Sorry, Shuan. He's a really low character. Okay, so by the root nodes are like the save points we get throughout the run, and there's some specific root nodes will be like corrupted. Not sure if corrupted is a word, but like in a weird state, let's say. Okay, so those are the ones that usually will give us some skills. In this case, we meet with Lear or Lear, I don't know, who is like he's all not professor, but something like that. Anyways, anomalous, thanks. So yeah, on anomalous root nodes is where we usually unlock our skills. So here we unlocked our first skill of the game, which is not well second, I guess, because we got the nymph too, I guess. So we just unlocked our TP to back to the pavilion, which will be used later on to go back from awful locations. Because of course this game is a Metroidvania, it wants us to go through a lot of distant locations from where we are at the point. So yeah. Okay, I didn't understand that much. Okay, so we met with Rui, which was the core on our pavilion thing, and he told us to go meet with the three souls in the nearby areas, which are Guafu, Gumang, and Shanlao. Right now, we're going to meet Guafu, which should, in theory, be according to Rui, the most malleable soul to deal with at this point. We're going there right now. I will be telling much about that later on, I guess. But yeah, here's our first our actual first hack point of the run. The hack points are basically places where you have to input a password with the arrow keys, or I'm not sure how it works in controller actually. I never bothered to do that. Malleable. See, yeah, sorry about that. Okay, and here we get to another anomalous root node, which will unlock us the first new extra parry, because we have a lot of parries in this game. And this one will be the Tai Chi Geek. So, oh my god, I'm slow. I have to be a few minutes behind. So in this route now, we'll be unlocking the Tai Chi Geek. The Tai Chi Geek is a parry that works when the enemies glow green. That will give us, as any parry, will give us a key charge. The key charges are what we use to activate our talisman. During this cutscene, we will be skipping so okay, let me go back. Here we get a tutorial where we're taught how to use the skills, and ideally you want to use the skill thrice, but we can skip the first iteration of that tutorial by just being behind the enemy and hit him while we're still while we're still on stealth mode. So yeah, this game has a pretty unique stealth mode, by the way, which it's not really used on. I'm scared. What did I say? What did I say? Oh my god. Oh no, the talisman onto the corner, right? And yeah, I was quite surprised by that. By the way, I didn't expect that one. Yes. So we can skip the 3 attacks by just we can skip one of the attacks by just hitting him while in stealth mode. And yeah, so with the first skill unlocked, we go to the next area, which is the power reservoir, which is the area where the next soul is hiding. Kwafu. Don't worry. There's always something to learn. I'm already on that mentality, by the way. By the way, here's the first use we get of the nymph, which is the only, I believe it's the only instance we get of those laser cancellings with the nymph, which is kind of strange. Okay, so here we get the first cutscene with Kwafu. I hope I'm not that far behind. Oh my god. Oh, okay. And yeah, there's a lot of. Oh, that hack was amazing, actually. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm that far behind. Okay, so by the way, I think there was some talk earlier, and there's a lot of cutscenes throughout the game. I want you to know that, and that's why we try to skip as many as we can, because we want the gameplay, of course. I mean, even if the game is amazing, there's a lot of cutscene content, and yeah. So okay, back to the game. So to this area, there's actually 2 entrances. We enter to the right one because it's the shortest, and it has a lot of skips we can utilize. And yeah, this area basically consists on like a lot of labyrinth type connections. We get some money, by the way, because we need some money throughout the run. Later we will see why. Yeah. So, what's the main problem with this game as a speed game? There's a lot of cutscenes, as you may see, and it's like 2-minute long cutscenes usually. That was a really nice talisman, by the way. So, for that, there's one skip we just saw a few seconds ago, where we just skip. It's not that long, but it's 20 minutes time save, I believe, where you should dash and then talisman in midair to get through a rope that you should usually get. You will be getting through the left side, but we will be getting through the right side. And yeah, that's it. That skips a few rooms on the left side. Okay, and here we'll see a long hack, by the way. That hack. I saw no hack fails, by the way, but yeah, that hack will enable the next boss fight entrance, which we'll be seeing soon. But first, we have a small enemy gauntlet we have to deal with, because the soul of this area is kind of mad about our presence, even though he doesn't even know who we are. It was a really plain fight, by the way. Yeah. So yeah, here we have to do a small fight, which I personally fail a lot. I'm not that much of a runner of this game, I will be honest. But yeah, this fight might kind of turn you around something. That was a clean fight, by the way. Okay. So yeah, next we'll be going to the boss fight arena, which it's funny because it's one of the important bosses of the run, which we have to do. But we're not going to do it right now. So we'll be saving on this root node, and then we'll be proceeding to skip the boss fight by doing a ground dash to get some free iframes while we jump through the red things. And surprisingly, the developers didn't close the doors on the right side. They did on the left side, which is kind of silly. But for some reason they didn't close the right side out. So we'll be skipping this fight by just dashing and then doing a talisman. And ooh, clean. Clean every single time. Amazing. Clap, clap, clap. And so yeah. We'll be meeting our first soul of the run. Technically second, but sorry for the spoilers. So yeah, here's Sekwafu, who will be joining us, who was a friend of Shi before, spoilers, he died, I guess, which happens later on, I guess, in the story. Or before, I guess. But yeah. So here's a prime example of what this run means, I guess. The boss we just keep is one of the important bosses for the run, but we're going to get the seal first, and then the boss way later on the run. I'm not sure if it's right at the end or slightly before the end. I will let Wu decide that later. So yeah, we'll be getting the seal, and then we'll proceed with the run. There's wait, not yet. Okay. So what happened just now? By skipping this boss fight, the game still thinks we're in that boss fight. So we're in kind of a confused state if we're not or yes in a boss fight. So at some point later in the run, we'll have to save and quit, so the game doesn't softlock. Because like at any point we die in the run from now on, we will pretty much softlock, because yeah, the game is confused. So yeah, I'm not sure when will that happen. Most likely in Gumang, I believe. Gumang fight. And yeah, here's where the route will slightly change from what the current route is. The current route gets like goes to the left side of the map right now, but we are going to do some sort of all the route. How you call it? Chimera? It's not a chimera, but yeah, some sort of mix of old and new routes, which we'll be seeing soon, I guess. So yeah, here we go back to the pavilion and we pick to Kwafu. It's definitely a safer route, that's for sure. And Kwafu, besides being here and being the friendly guy on the run, he will be giving us one of the next skills that will be quite useful for both damage and platforming, which is the bow. Actually, we're going to be seeing an interesting use of the bow in a few moments. And we get an extra ammo right now, by the way. And that's the only ammo and bow upgrades we'll be getting on the run, I believe. My stream. Okay, it's back. Okay, so we go to the area of the game, which is the agricultural region. So here, oh my god, sorry. Here we'll be seeing our like everyone's favorite soul. Not this one. This one, by the way, spoilers, is one of the next souls in the run. But it's not the one I was talking about. So yeah, we can actually skip this cutscene by doing one trick I'll explain later on. But it was going. It's not going to visit yet. Uh, sorry, it's I tend to do a spoiler thing often. Anyways, okay, so here we'll be using that bow thing I told earlier. So basically, there's some fun interaction if you do a bow shot as you jump and hold jump, and that pretty much lets you fly, hover, maybe hover, I guess is the correct word for it. And that, yeah, you can float horizontally as much as you want as long as you hold the jump button, and as long as you do the bow shot not as high as you expect. And that lets us keep one of the I guess mandatory is a strong word, but one of the quote mandatory runs, mandatory fights of a run, and yeah. Here on the new route, we will be doing one particular hard skip, which is quite problematic. But in this case, on the safer route, we're not watching that. And here's Gumang, by the way, the next soul will be fighting against. Yeah, long cutscene as usual. All of the cutscenes of the game are quite long, and ideally we'd want to skip them, but yeah, we do what we can. There's a few we can skip. This one right now we skip by just ignoring it entirely. And yeah. So okay, let me see if there. All right. Anyways, yeah. So on this route, we actually get one of the next power-ups right now on the next route node. It's an anomalous route node, as I told you earlier. We'll be seeing another use of the bow. So remember, like before, I said like during the fight tutorial of those skill areas, which are called limitless realms, by the way, which we're entering right now. And so at the end of each of the limitless realms, there's a tutorial as long as the skill is used for fights. And if you're on stealth mode, you can skip every one of the attacks as long as you remain on stealth mode. And the bow, in particular, for some reason, if you shoot, it doesn't let the enemy. I guess it's probably because it's stunned, but as long as you shoot the bow 3 times, it will never leave stealth mode, so you can skip the entire fight right away. So yeah, we'll be seeing Wu using the bow, and there's another interesting thing we can see, that by using the bow and opening the pause menu, you can let me think. English is hard, sorry. You can basically like do the bow shots while in the pause menu. They're not really necessary for this in particular, but they still apply the bow shot, so it's nice to have, I guess. So okay, and here's something we don't see also in the newer patches, but by using the bow also you can gain some iframes, and we'll be using those iframes to dive into this pool of yellow thing, water, something. This is usually called a peace skip. Sorry for for language, but yeah, we use the bow shots to dive into the water and abuse those ice frames for exiting through the transition as soon as we can. And right after that, we get another funny skip where we just do a talisman as soon as we enter the room to land on the rooftop of the map, out of bounds. And yeah, will be a long walk, but this skips an entire, I believe it's a 2 minutes fight or something like that. Okay, no, it's... And yeah, it's a really long fight. It's like 2 minutes. This saves like a minute and a half, I imagine. So yeah, after this long walking sequence, we arrive right away on the next fight, next boss fight, important boss fight, the next soul and seal of the run, which is Gumang's one. I believe Wu is going to save right now. I believe. Let me see. I don't want to lie on the run, but I might. Yeah. So yeah, ideally, as I mentioned before, you want to save and quit at some point of the run after doing the red center skip, because otherwise you might softlock if you die, and softlocking is not really good in this game because this game opens really slow, and in this particular version it's kind of rough. So yeah. So here we find our next soul command. Yeah. So this fight consists in beating two enemies at ideally at the same time. So then Gumon comes in and you have to slap her. There's just to mention, there's a funny beef between G, our main character, and Gumang. So by the way, there's a spoiler. There will be a lot of gore in the next cutscene, so prepare yourself. Yeah. So ideally, this fight will consist in trying to take out the big guy on the left, in this case, and then trying to one-cycle Gumang by hitting her a few times. First with Charge Strike to start the combo, and then doing 3 slashes, and then a bow to reset the full air slashes. I'll let Wu concentrate. Clean. That's so clean. So yeah, we want to do 3 slashes in the air, then a bow shot to reset our slash counter, and then we repeat that as many times as we can, and we finish up with a talisman blow, which will leave her in a one-shot cycle. So yeah, that was a really clean fight. A round of applauses. So yeah. So yeah, creepy stuff will happen in the fight, in the cutscenes right now. Don't worry about that. She's fine. She's happy. she's doing okay. So yeah, finishing her, we'll be getting her seal, her soul seal, and right next. So yeah. So yeah. One of the main things of this category overall, probably many people won't like, but there's really long walks on these seal cutscenes, which is I personally feel it's fine because it lets you chill down a little after each one of the boss fights, or before, I guess, because in new routes you do this before the boss fight, for example. But it's like a nice change of pace after, because this is a really, in my opinion, I felt this is a really hard game, and really difficult and hard game, and having a break on it 2 hours run is amazing. It's a really fun game. I highly recommend it. I will never stop recommending it. It has an insanely good story and a really fun gameplay. It's a difficult game, but it's worth the gameplay. So yeah, we get Gumang Seal. We get some extra money, by the way, with what that one pickup, and then we go back to the pavilion with the great TP we unlocked earlier on on the pavilion, actually. First strike combo. Yeah, clean gameplay as we've seen. Okay, so after getting the seal, we'll be going to the left area of the game, which is the warehouse and the factory areas. And I will be advising another advice for the faint of heart. There will be a jump scare really soon, so be prepared for that. So it's kind of how you call it, not a premonition, but it's kind of on that same vibe. So yeah, we're skipping this card over here, which requires charge strike to be hacked, and no, there was no dark seal on the old run. So yeah, here is kind of like preemptive. I still don't know, but the game is telling us that we have to be aware of this section for later on because it's one of the important sections of the run. And yeah, so there will be a quite impressive chance. I really like this one. It's amazing. Which we can skip, but there's no useful ledges to skip. Less storage, by the way, and for Shao. There we go, that's the word. So yeah, on this part, we'll be doing one of the. It's not hard, but it's tedious sometimes. This one is called the Cortex Skip, I believe. Sorry if I'm not doing. So we'll be doing a few horizontal movement skills like charge strike into talisman, into bow shots, and everything as we can to skip the. Surprisingly, it's a really long segment, but there's like a long, really long path on the top of this map, which takes like around a minute or so. It's crazy for a single map. So, okay. And yeah, so I didn't talk that much about that, but the developers for this game, Red Candle Games, are developers for horror games. So there's a few horror game elements in the game that you may notice. So which are were kind of used in a nice extent, thankfully. So yeah, this is sorry for the abrupt change, but we're reaching the next area, which is the warehouse and the factory. That node is just for safety. Don't worry about that. And here we'll be getting the one of the shades. By the way, the shades, I haven't explained that earlier, but the shades are like, for example, in Hollow Knight, how do you call it? Charms? Was it in Hollow Knight? An amulet type of slot thing that you can equip to get some buffs. And that one we just got is the Swift Descent shade, which lets us do a fast fall like thing. And yeah, that will let us do some. It's not necessary for the skips, but it's quite useful. It's quite useful for the skips later on. Okay. So we just reached one of the most important skills of the run, which is the air dash. There's a lot of stuff to talk about the air dash. By the way, in this limitless realm, you don't get the fight tutorial because of obvious reasons. But yeah, there's many things that can be used there can be my thoughts are blanking out. So yeah, air dashing and jumping and air dashing is one of the most fastest methods of moving around the map. That air dash spam, you can chain that with a slash or a taichi kick to get some extra boost of speeds. Which is like a 3% faster. It's not that much, but it's noticeable on a long run like this. So slashing, by the way, gives us an extra boost of distance. It's ideally the fastest, even without air dash, but it's not that relevant for the unless you're really optimizing the runs. Okay, so we're reaching the next main area of the M, where we'll be finding the next soul, the third soul of the run. Usually you can do them in earning order as long as you get the skills and move out of the area. But regularly, this is the third soul of the run, which is Chanlao, an old man who likes to hoard stuff in his big-ass warehouse. Sorry. So this is one of the, not sure if it is the most movement heavy of the run, but it has a lot of tight movement. You will be seeing that mostly in the next room. In the next rooms, sorry, because there's a lot of extra shanks to watch later. Oh, that's another usage of the Nith. I forgot about that one. So yeah, this warehouse is basically a timed base area. It's really annoying to get it, but you can get a really fast cycle out of it. Oh, sorry, can you hear what I'm eating? That's sorry. So yeah, this is a time base area, so you will be seeing a lot of calm and precocious. That's a weird word. A lot of. It will be lower in this elevator because we're going to use one robot. Sadly, it's the only time we use a robot. We used to use it before we found a later skip on the run. But yeah, there's two places where you can use this robot on. And it's fun. It one-shots most stuff and it's low, but it hits hard. And you're... So yeah, ideally you drop that elevator so the robot falls faster, otherwise you have to wait until the robot lowers the elevator and stuff, and it's kind of tedious. That this part is also an XP farm, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can... Many things can be improved with Giant Robot, yeah, definitely. I agree with that sentence. So yeah, here we get another 1 minute cutscene, by the way. A hydration check, by the way, if anyone... hydration is important, so I highly suggest you do that. I should do that, actually. Okay. So yeah, here we get some... Most of these long cutscenes will be lore cutscenes about the... Yes, English is so hard, sorry. I keep saying that every single marathon. Marathon commentary. Blah. Yeah, best cutscene according to many people in the speedrun community. So yeah, and okay, so there's a lot of stuff to explain in terms of skills and everything we'll be doing on the next areas. So, okay, so right now, who's going to do less storage to basically store a less, as the name heavily implies, to get stuck in a wall. I will be explaining that later on because it will be used later many times. And he will be using that to break these walls from the other side. You can do this with either Charge Strike, as you saw right now, or you can do it with bow without the lead storage. And yeah, that lets you break walls from the other side. And you need 2 switches to activate the main elevator of this area that will lead us to the next mini boss. And the favorite part of everyone in the run, the developers mentioned this as the Flying Thunder God technique. We speedrunners only mention as rope storage. So yeah, what does this mean? So when you get interrupted as soon as you are going down through a rope, you can store that rope on the rope coordinates. So as long as you press up or down at any other coordinate in the map, you will get teleported to the same x-axis of that specific rope. And by the way, we're now seeing the first usage of the swift descent. It's not really needed. It lets us fast fall throughout lasers. You can do that with the regular dash, but it's harder to time, so Swift Descent is a really safe option against those type of lasers. And yeah, so yeah, rope storage, we use that like 2 times in this case, or 1 to warp into a Tao fruit. I will be also explaining that later. And later to come back to the same rope, we use it. So yeah, basically, too long didn't read it. You can teleport to the same X coordinate as the rope at the height you were when you were pressing up or down. So yeah. Yeah, so we're reaching the next mini boss fight, one of the most hated of the run. Not the most hated because there's another one later, which is skipped, I believe, in the current route, or not yet because there hasn't been a round that did that so far. But yeah, here is Xintian, if my pronunciation isn't failing me. Yeah, this fight is quite difficult. Not really difficult, but it's quite punishing. He tends to punish you a lot for missing a parry, and he likes to do these funny little bombs on the floor a lot. And yeah, so the main gimmick of this fight is that he will be hitting a lot. You have to parry and then hit him, and then he will try to recover. And you have to interrupt those recovers with either Charge Strike or a bow or a fully charged talisman. In this case, we have 2 charges of talisman, which will be enough. In some cases, you only have 1, which doesn't work, sadly. So yeah, ideally you want him to not spam your ground or not. That was a really clean fight. Jesus Christ. Claps again, please. So yeah. Amazing proof of skill. Yeah, so yeah, you use the bow to stun him in the area so he doesn't heal, or in case he's doing awful attacks. There's a few awful attacks. So yeah, and yeah, we'll be reaching another area that's quite platforming heavy on the run, and yeah. So, funnily enough, remember the rope storage I explained recently? So yeah, it will be used for a really small skip right now. So, this area is the Boundless Repository. It's like 4 big rooms in a single grid, or a scene if you want to call it like that. So, they're all all 4 rooms are basically in the same room. To say it really briefly. And you can do a rope storage to move from the 2nd room to the 4th room, skipping entirely the 3rd room altogether. And yeah, here we'll be hacking a robot. It won't be useful because it will get shot immediately, sadly. It will be fun to see a robot in another instance of a run. But yeah, we take what we can. And yeah. Okay, so we can actually break that box with Charge Strike, by the way. It's not really relevant, but it's fun. It gives you something to do. And yeah, so we reached the 2nd room. Here we'll be doing the dire room and then opening the entrance shortcut to gain access to the 1st rope, which is the one that we're going to be using for the rope storage. I wonder if you can actually use that. No, maybe not in this gather. Anyways, so yeah, you open the shortcut and then you do rope storage to keep it for the next room. That's a clean storage, nice. And as soon as we enter the next room, we can just jump and do the funny teleport, skipping the room entirely. And yeah, that can also be done to skip the 4th room entirely, which is also a long room. And that's the entirety of Boundless Repository. That's a really clean one. Nice. That's a really nice one. So yeah, with that we're reaching the next boss fight. I'm not sure if he's going to open the shortcut. I hope he does. Okay, thanks. It's scary sometimes. It's sometimes scary. You should be fine though. Okay. So yeah. This is the 3rd soul of the run, Jis Shanlao. I told that earlier, probably. Sorry for repeating myself this often, but yeah, it's sometimes a little bit of redundancy is not that bad. Anyways, so this fight consists in a lot of parrying and knowing your. I'm not sure if knowing your positioning, but it's a lot of patience mostly. Because the enemy attacks a lot and it tends to move you around. Yes, you can use the rope storage as long as you don't touch any rope. You can use the rope storage as many times as you want. Okay, so this is the Skyrending Claw, the enemy that we fight in the name of Xianlao. The main gimmick of this fight will be using parry and then using the talisman to deal damage while we wait for the next slide of the claw. And there we go. Surprisingly, using one talisman is even better than just waiting for the 2 charges. So yeah. This fight can be slightly annoying sometimes because the claw also likes to jump. I personally eat that jump attack a lot of times because I don't parry. I don't initially parry for some reason. But yeah. Ideally with Charge Strike you can also abuse some of the... For example, this laser attack, you can use the Charge Strike to initiate the combo. Current routes of this category don't get the Charge Strike anymore, so they don't get this. But it's useful. Yeah. So that's the first phase, really clean. The second phase is more like the same, but with a laser in the middle and more lasers and in the attack that the lasers move around. But yeah, this boss fight is quite simple overall. It tries to grab you. By the way, fun fact, that grab is not parryable with the spoiler attacks, spoiler and boundary counter that you get later on. But yeah, it's a really simple boss fight. It's, well, by the way, one of the shortest in the boss rush category. With the amount of damage we get at this point of the run, it's quite a long fight, surprisingly. With the more dedicated setup, I believe you should be doing it faster. For example, at this point we can have the bow upgraded in terms of damage. We only upgraded the ammo of the bow, which will be needed for a lot of skips. It's way shorter than Gumang, as long as you have the funny arrow Shadow Hunter. There's three types of arrows, also there's 3 types of spell, which is the talisman types. I will be talking about spell styles later on, but yeah, both styles we won't be seeing any right now. But the Shadow Hunter is usually the fastest for the bow fights. But yeah. Okay. So here is where confronting Shanlao, he just decides to explode and die and leave a Tao fruit. What is a Tao fruit, you may ask? The Tao fruits is what the Solarians left when they succumbed to the main mutation thing. What's not flu? Flu is not the word, but it's on that. On that Rebo. So yeah, I know, right? So yeah, when the Solarians die affected by the Tianhuo disease, there we go. They virus also. That's right. Thanks. They leave a Tao fruit. And the Tao fruits are something we can get to upgrade our overall damage, and it also gives us skill points depending on the type of Tao fruit we're getting. That's right, Tianhuo is not request. Sorry for the misleading. What is a Tianhuo, by the way? I don't know. Will we knowing that later? But yeah, we won't be getting that many Tao fruits throughout the run, but the ones we get are useful, thankfully. So yeah, and at this point of the run, we get a phone call. Is it a phone call? I hope. By one of the other souls, which is Xiequan. He usually calls the player when it has 3 soul seals at his disposal, but for some reason it's the 2 first soul seals and then any of the other seals, because shenanigans of the programming. For some reason they copy-pasted Shanlao's seal cutscene we just saw a few minutes ago into the next soul seals cutscene. And yeah, for some reason you can skip this one by doing any of the later ones. So yeah, here we'll be speaking with one of the NPCs of the run. I believe it's the only time we speak with him, or maybe there's another one. I don't remember. But yeah, by lowering the bridge we just lowered, he gives us a really useful shade, which is the revival shades. That shade revives us at 25 HP with no iframes for some reason. Thanks, developers, by the way. And yeah, that will be used mostly for safety, but it will be used for as a glitch in a few minutes. you will be seeing. But yeah, here we meet with Shekwan, who wants to slap in our face. And this fight is a mandatory death. So yeah, cutscenes, by the way. 2 minutes of cutscenes. I will not trust in your words until I see it. But yeah, here where we see another of the childhood Yeast cutscenes. This one is a spoiler of the next one, or maybe. Yeah. So, what happens now? Shikwan grabs us and basically throws us into prison for some reason. What did we do? Did we behave badly? I don't know. And so yeah, we have one of the stealth sections of the run. It's one of the sections that people tend to hate a lot for some reason. Oh, I don't remember which one it is, sorry. So, yeah. What is the... so, we get in some sort of prisons. I actually said it wrong. We get in a state during the prison section where we can't dash. We can't air dash, we can't talisman, but we can move, we can use the hook. We will be moving really slowly and tired. So, for some reason... sorry. Okay. So yeah, basically you're really on a weak state because he slapped you quite hard. I mean, you can see it on the screen right now. He's been slightly tortured. So yeah, yes, the chat says where basically Sheik wants to swing apparently. So yeah. I wonder. No, he's not doing it. Okay. Here you can do a silly, funny, slow skip. He got it. Amazing. Where you can just slash to get enough distance to cover that gap, which usually you have to use the nymph to unlock a shortcut. But I mean, it's safer to just not do it and take the nymph because it saves like half a second, something like that. That's not really worth, but yeah, that worked. Anyways. And here we're also using the nymph to unlock one of the shortcuts we'll be needing to go through later. And we find the guard of the prison, which is, I believe in the game files it's called Mr. X, which would make sense because of Mr. X. That was a clean prison skip. Jesus Christ, amazing. So what is the prison skip? So usually in this area, you have to go all the way around to the left, then go up, then go to the right, and then you will be reaching the shortcut that was just activated a few seconds ago. But with the silly damage boost, you can make that gap. It's slightly RNG, but it's not... Ooh, that was close. Clean every single time. Amazing. Clap, everyone. A display of style. Amazing. So, when we interact with this root node, we'll be removing the prison state so we can move normally, dash normally, and everything. But also in this particular patch which we're running on right now, you can store some shades depending on it's a really difficult glitch to explain, but basically you're storing one shade. In this case, I think we're still we're storing the revival shade, which we unlocked slightly earlier. So yeah, so basically you store the shade, then you sleep, and then you recover your non-prison state, and yeah. After that, you do a rope storage to enter this boss fight. This boss fight is quite one of the. Remember, I mentioned there was a really awful boss fight. This is the one awful boss fight. And yeah, you rope storage into this boss fight, and you can skip it, but it's not worth it. In this particular route, the current route does it nowadays. Thankfully, it trades it big for some awful skips, but yeah. The main issues with this fight is that there's a lot of RNG between the main enemy, like the Mr. X, and the small enemies going around the map. I let Wu concentrate, sorry for Okay. Okay, that was a really clean fight. Nice. Round of applause. And so yeah, the thing is with this fight you can get overwhelmed quite quickly because there's a lot of enemies spawning. There's a lot of hitboxes to deal with. It can get really painful quite quickly. So yeah, this fight is painful. This boss drops an item we will be getting to scrap later on, which is the Noble Ring. I believe it's the item that gives us the most money out of the run. There's money, by the way. I mentioned that on the first minutes of a run, but yeah, you can. We get some money to buy first the bow upgrade, which we already bought, and one talisman upgrade we'll be using for the endgame of the run. So yeah. After that really difficult and painful fight, we'll be going through this room and obtaining. I believe who's going to the upper side of this room. You can go through the bottom side, but it's not that worth. You have to do a hover with the bow and some funny stuff. By the way, you can get inside these hacking points for some reason. That's a funny one. And yeah, we'll get another Tao fruit on this area. Ooh, that's a nice manipulation. Clean every single time. So yeah. So we find another anomalous root node. We use this one unlocks our next parry skill. We have 3 parries, by the way. This one will be the charged parry. The type skill is like the air parry, and then you have the parry. It's funny. There's a lot of parrying in the game. This is one of the most OP parries that we have. It's one of the casual, uncomfortable parries. Usually, I personally had a really hard time using it in my casual run. On the speedrun, it went like it's one of the most broken possible parries. But yeah, as similar as the charge strike tutorial, we just spam the bow for this, and that skips the entirety of the tutorial. Amazing, amazingly done. This is a skill expression, yeah, I know, right? So, after this, we'll be going back to the pavilion. We'll be seeing a cutscene first. So, there's so many things to talk about, oh my god. I thought it would be like, I thought I would have no things to talk about in a 2 hours run, but surprisingly, oh my god, this game is complex. So yeah, after this cutscene, which we unlock the unbounded counter, which is the charged parry. The charged parry lets us counter, let's say 90% of the parries in the game. Mostly the ones that glow red, which are not parried like the normal way, with a regular parry or a Tai Chi kick. The Tai Chi kicks are parried with green, and these ones are usually the amount counter parries usually green attacks and especially red attacks. But yeah. So yeah, here we after the prison segment where we've been beaten really heavily. Chiyu, so hard to pronounce. The kind person who just gave us the revival shade will bring us back to the pavilion safely. And here in the pavilion, we will unlock the next upgrade of the Pusang Horn, which is the teleport we have between root nodes. And in this case, will let us teleport to any root node we want, as long as we have the teleport. Wink, wink, not a foreshadow for later tech on the run. So yeah. We'll be scrapping the noble ring we just got a few seconds ago. We will be buying a pipe vial for an extra health, just for safety. And the stream just froze, sorry. And the transmute on the key. What is a transmute on the key? It's a talisman upgrade that when you kill an enemy, you get a charge of something. In specific, the transmute onto key will give us another talisman charge that we can use, especially later on the end of the run, which will be quite important. So yeah, here we unlock the big teleport. Our teleport gets fixed, yay. So yeah, as soon as we get our teleport feature upgraded, by the way, we can teleport back to the warehouse where we were right beneath the entrance of the Shirkwan area, which is the next soul where we're fighting. The fourth soul. It will be, sorry for the rude explanation, the cruel explanation, but it's pretty much a unbounded counter tutorial, this fight. But yeah. We get a small cutscene. It's not the I'm not sure if I want to tell, but there's a meme category that's going on for since the beginning of the game, which ties directly to first manga panel of the Chiekwan boss fight in the next room. Not yet, but soon enough. As soon as the boss fight starts, which is called identically to the acronym of this category in specific. By the way, funny name for this category. But yeah. This area in particular doesn't have much. It's mostly running around and trying to avoid the blob things. These blobs basically respawn as long as you don't make them burn. It's the only time they appear. Mostly because it's the factory that creates them. Because this one, as soon as maybe you saw this a few seconds ago, but the blobs basically are what create the soldiers that are used for Shikwan's army, I believe. I hope I'm not saying random nonsense. The gummy bears. So yeah, we'll be mostly running around. Oh, another use of the nymph. Even insane. So yeah. Funnily enough, it's the only room that's guarding us from Shikwan. I mean, I guess we went through the prison and everything, but yeah. This is slightly not yet a difficulty spike. The next boss fight will be a huge difficulty spike, mostly for casual play. Both in the area that comes before it and the boss fight itself. But this one is most likely a tutorial on how to use the unbounded counter and the Tai Chi kick in combat. So yeah, here we will be unlocking the next few skill points. That will be backlash, which increases the damage we can do with the counters. By the way, the counters can do damage. I think I explained the internal damage with the talismans earlier, but yeah. Anyways, it's a panel. Oh no, time. No, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, the one of the skills backlash will increase the damage you do with the unbounded counters. And the other one we get is another spell style for the talisman, which is water flow. Water flow, what we'll be doing later on, I thought it was equipped now, but apparently it isn't. But what water flow does is that you can you can use a talisman on the enemy and it will remain on the enemy. You don't need to charge it as the other two talisman styles. And it explodes after a certain time. That was this is one of the fights that takes me the most time to get used. I usually fail it a lot. So yeah, basically you want to break his shield so he avoids healing with either a charge strike or a bow level 2. This is one of the main issues of the current route, where you don't have charge strike but you do have bow level 2, and so you're limited in the breaks you can do on the run. Okay, that was a nice phase 1. This fight is mostly a tutorial on aggression of the enemies, because you can retaliate most of the attacks in many different ways, but ideally you want to use unbound counter to punish every single one of the Shiekwan attacks. Ooh, let's go. Nice fight, by the way. There we go. This fight can turn really bad really quickly, but that was Shiekwan. And this one, I'm not sure if it fits into gore, but careful for the next few seconds. Maybe you won't like it. But yeah, that was our 4th soul of the run, or the 3rd, because we haven't fought the first one yet. That's Hiekwan, and we'll be getting his seal quickly soon. So yeah, and these sections are mostly where you get the lore of each of the souls, the background lore before they became souls. And what motivates them. And the last one, I'm not sure. I don't want to say random stuff, but it's probably what their dreams for the future are. But yeah, I'm personally not a fan of revival shade. I feel it's quite more a lie than than we want. Ideally, with good fights, of course, you wouldn't need it, but yeah, you can't always have good fights, and then I'm not the best case to speak on that. But yeah, that was the factory area. So the next area we'll be going to is a kind of interesting area. It's not in the base area of the game. It will be on. Oh shit! Let me make sure I'm not. Okay, that's fine. We're fine. We're fine. Are we fine? Okay. Don't worry. So yeah. After that, she will be getting another one of his strokes, weird strokes, and yeah, Rui will be calling us to go back to the pavilion, horror seasons pavilion, the hall of the game, where he will be alerting us of an anomaly on, first of all, on the root node. Okay. Wu. Okay.
Hi, hello.
Okay.
And uh,
Okay.
okay, and let me start again. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. We're back, everyone. Hello. Yeah, sorry for the inconveniences. Stuff happened. So yeah, we're back to where we were, and the first thing we'll be doing is unlocking the next route. No, actually, oh no, not yet. Sorry, what am I saying? So yeah, we spoke with Rui, who will be telling us that there's an anomaly in a close area where we got the jump scare earlier on the run. Okay, don't worry, timer stuck. So yeah, we'll be entering the next area, the next big area of the run, which is the Dreamscape, Lady Ethereal's Dreamscape, to be maybe slightly more specific. So yeah, in this section, besides meeting with Lady Ethereal herself in this intro cutscene, it's some sort of like Zen space. Maybe I'm not sure if that's the correct word, but um, thanks for the magic, by the way. The family's friendly section of the game, that's for sure, as the entire game. But yeah, so yeah, this is like sort of dreamland area, which will have some sort of gimmick of dark and light spaces, which will be the dark areas will be the true nature of the area, and the light areas will be like the fake ones. So we can mostly hit stuff and enemies that presents ourselves inside the dark areas, while in the light areas we will be mostly platforming safely. You can see the red enemies right now, for example. You can parry them, but you can't hit them unless they're inside the dark areas. This is It's probably the most platforming heavy area of the entire game. There's a lot of special optimization that can be done in this specific run. That's one of them, by the way, with the talisman and going through the bottom side of the platforming. And you will be seeing also a lot of usage of talisman to cover a lot of gaps. So, and yeah. One of the things you'll also notice is that the game will lag for a few, like right now, for example. It might lag for a few seconds. That's of how the old patches loading of this area works. By the way, I didn't mention this earlier, but we're running on an old patch. Thankfully, big shoutouts to the developers for supporting us from really early on, taking their time to to fulfill our silly speedrunner things. They enabled us an old branch of the game 2 times actually, so we can run in all patches through Steam without having to annoying down patch commands and stuff. So yeah, the developers really supportive of their community. Like big thanks for them from really early on. So yeah. There's a lot of skips that can be done in this area. One will be seeing quite soon. Let me explain this one quite early. So if you grab a ledge, then you attack or not parry actually. But if you attack while you're grabbing that ledge, and then cancel that attack with either a slash, a double jump, a talisman, a skull kick, anything. You can hold that ledge state and store it for later usage. That's called a ledge storage. And in this case, we're going to be using that to. Oh, this particular section has a lot of tricky eyeballs that will that want you to use them just to annoy you. But yeah, that's clean skip. So yeah, we're storing that ledge over there. You just saw that skip. That saves like 20 seconds, I believe, or 15 seconds. It's a long skip. So you grab a ledge, you store it, and then you climb that ledge you store through either a parry or a slash, and that refreshes your dashes and refreshes your double jumps, talismans, everything. And you can use that for many things. In this case, for example, we're skipping one mini boss fight by grabbing a ledge and doing a ledge storage and falling into the map. Usually when you fall through a map, your horizontal movement gets stuck. But with ledge storage, you can just ignore that and move and skip the boss fight trigger. So yeah. And that's the Huangxian skip. Yep, exactly. So yeah, you will reach the breakpoint of this area, which is where basically everything turns around, casually shuffles around along the air, definitely. And so here's where everything turns around in this area where everything's so chill and cool and fluffy, maybe so more. And then everything turns dark, and we recover our nymph, which will be guiding us throughout the next area by revealing the true platforms. And yeah, okay, it's too late for a gore for a gore advice, but yeah. First skip of the area, we get a ledge, sorry. Ouch! Yeah, that was too late. But yeah, remember we can hover with the bow. We can also do that with a ledge storage. So we hover with the ledge and we try to grab the next checkpoint of the area. The next sections will be based on many checkpoints that we have to get to proceed. and we have to follow the nymph up to that checkpoint to basically proceed to the next area and etc. So yeah, this is the second phase of the nymph. If you, yeah, that's right. Thanks for the reminder. If you go too far, the nymph will respawn you, which is one of the core mechanics of some of the skips later. So yeah, here you can see the candles, which are the checkpoints, being lit up. So yeah, for the next skip, we're still kind of slightly behind. Yes, as long as you can touch the save points, you can respawn them. But yeah, sometimes you can. It doesn't let you touch save points if you're not quick enough. But yeah. For the next skip, now we will be grabbing one of the orbs that keep a dark area around She, and we will be storing a ledge to hover later. And yeah, we touch the next checkpoint, and then as soon as we touch the checkpoint, we want to respawn immediately because we still have the dark orb, and for some reason this checkpoint in particular spawns us really on the top of this area, which is on a dark platform. We can it's really convenient. We can conveniently use it for hovering with the ledge and skipping right to the next checkpoint. This checkpoint in particular, we want to not grab the nymph if possible, so we respawn immediately and we try to dash out of the nymph trigger so we can do this area safely. Otherwise, it's a really long auto-scroller. Yeah, I kind of didn't mention it, but all of these areas are auto-scroller. But you can probably figure it out. So yeah, and this is the last section of the nymph. It's been a quite quick nymph section, really clean overall. So yeah, there's like a small parry orb parry tower in this section, which we first do this, and then we prepare a hover to reach the end of this section, which is also similar to the first skip of this area. It's on a long jump that we ideally, like casually, we have to go all the way down, then to right, then up. But here we can also skip that with grabbing some horizontal distance. And yeah, we touch the door and we go to the next area. Here we get the fake seal of the next soul, which is Lady Ethereal, which will be fighting soon, quite soon. This is like, I believe, is one of the biggest roadblocks casually because the difficulty spike goes really hard on this next fight. This is where the game expects you to be proficient at parrying, touchy kick, unbounded counter, dashing, and mostly being aware of your surroundings in terms of fighting. And this can be quite overwhelming for the skill set you gain through the run. I really love this fight. It's one of the best of the game. Maybe the best. So yeah, immediately we want to enter the soulscape again. We start the fight. So, what's the gimmick of this fight? Lady Ethereal will be doing a lot of clones, which we have to. On the phase one, it's not really much of a deal because we just have to hit her. But on phase 2, we will have to guess which one is the real Lady Ethereal. On phase 3, we know which one is the real one, but there's still a lot of clones that we have to deal with. This fight will be mostly dealt with internal damage, since she's not as often on screen. This one will be quite chill and really low in HP. Surprisingly, it usually is dealt in like three at most 4 attacks And then we proceed to phase 2. This is the most complicated one of them, which we usually have to take our time guessing or hitting guessing which one will be the real one, and then hitting it, praying it's the real one, and then dealing damage. If we don't deal damage, then we're missing a lot of opportunity. We're either how do you call it? Left for an opening or yeah. In big terms, it's not. It's mostly knowing your positioning and pairing at the best time. All of the fights from here and later on, it will be mostly an exercise on internal damage and trying to optimize the most internal damage that you can to then deal a big hit with either a talisman or a talisman, I guess. So, phase 3, she charges a big attack that we want to avoid. Yeah, and it's kind of weird because countering her clones only deals internal damage when we're unbounded countering it. It doesn't when we do Tai Chi kicks. For some reason we can't. I'm not sure why. Because you're still countering her. I don't know. And even if it's the same attack that you can counter in 2 different ways. So yeah, ideally on this big attack we want to. At least the safest way is probably pairing one of the attacks, dashing the next one, or pairing and then dashing the next, the big attack, so we can just slap her on, on that opening. And that was a really clean Lady Ethereal fight. It's one of the toughest fights to deal right in the 1 hour and a half mark of the run. That's like insane. Really nice timing, by the way. I have mentioned this way before, but it's a really difficult run and it requires a lot of patience throughout an entire 2 hours and a half, 3 hours at most. By the way, a little plug-in for the community, but if anyone is interested in running the game, we have the Discord, the community Discord, open in the speedrun page for Nine Souls. By the way, potential gore again. I want to alert you for the next 2 minutes. But yeah, if anyone is interested in running the game or needs help in casually or wants some info on some stuff, besides the amazing wiki that the Nine Souls community has made, ninesouls.wiki.cc, I believe. I hope someone corrects me in the future. But if anything, we have a Discord for the game, and we're grateful for having more people running and and discovering more stuff. Don't feel free to join. Oh yeah, a big cutscene, by the way. Okay, that's an interesting fun fact. There's an enemy that summons clones later in the game, and kicking or unbound countering the clone doesn't do damage to the real one. Yeah, that's yeah. It's not the only one because I guess both iterations of that same enemy, both the normal one and the mini boss, 16. Sorry for the pronunciation. 16. Yeah, I don't know. Right at the optional true ending boss fight. I'm not sure if it behaves the same way, but yeah. Anyways, we're back to the gameplay. We'll be grabbing. I believe Wu is not going to the teleport right now. He will be doing later. But yeah, he will grab the Tao fruit for extra damage, and we're going back to the pavilion to unlock our next upgrade. This time, amazing upgrade, one of the most comfy ones. Oh, actually, you did the teleport storage. I didn't think about that. That's a clever one. Nice one. So, it's probably too late to explain, but remember you get the teleport. So basically, it's one of the most recent discoveries. I will probably butcher the whole explanation, but you can basically store the teleport menu by glitching a swap from the shade menu. At the same time, you have something like that. Sorry. So yeah, whole short story, and you can basically glitch out the teleport menu and use it on any node, not even if the teleport is blocked. For example, right now where the teleport is blocked until you go back to the pavilion. And yeah, we'll use it to go back to the pavilion. So yeah. Oh, raid. Nice. I am not seeing a raid, sorry, but thanks for the raid, by the way. Welcome, welcome. So okay. Here we'll be unlocking on this limitless realm, we'll be unlocking the double jump, which will be used for many, I mean not many, maybe I'm just overreacting, but will be used for a few other glitches right soon after this segment. Sometimes an all route is all you need for for comfort and safety. Doing marathon runs is hard, by the way. Like doing showcases and marathon runs is it's difficult to keep the pace. So safety is never a bad thing. So yeah, here we'll be getting some more lore. I don't know. We don't know about lore. We skip the entire lore. Yeah. Okay. Time to take a quick breath, by the way. Hydration check. Don't forget to hydrate. Don't be like me. What's next? So, we go back to one of the root nodes we got earlier, which is the Lake Shaoqi, which is not really that far, but it's convenient for the teleport. And we are getting a ledge just to do a small skip. And ta-da! You have the triple jumps. What the? It's a triple jump. Uh, so a triple jump is basically using a ledge storage to refresh your double jump. So after a double jump, you can just ooh, that's an interesting route through the Sky Tower. This map is called Sky Tower, by the way. So yeah, the triple jumps will be used to cover most of the annoying gaps that are remaining in the game. One of the interesting quirks that the game has right now is that the end game is extremely reliant on double jumps, which was one of the biggest hurdles for any percent routing, which doesn't use double jump, by the way. So the the ledge jump, the ledge storage, basically lets you refresh a lot of cooldown durations, like air dash and especially double jumps, so you can triple jumps. Imagine if we could quadruple jumps, that would be amazing. So supply the light. Oh my. So yeah. How did Wu ignore those lasers? You may ask. Remember Swift Descent, which we grabbed earlier, the shade that lets us fast fall? It gives us some iframes that will remain on the that will remain on next damages for a few seconds, but it's enough to fast fall through a laser and go back, hit that laser and go through it. And yeah, okay, welcome Raiders, by the way. Thanks for passing by. I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening, day, or whatever. So yeah, welcome to 9 Souls runs. And where was I? So yeah, the triple champs broken, basically. So yeah, the game at this point presents us with two choices that we can do in terms of boss fights. We can fight the Soul Shi, which is the small one we encounter at the beginning of the run that I say we could skip, but we weren't skipping. And which is the one we're going for right now, by the way. And I wonder if what's Wu doing? Okay, that's an interesting strat. That's an interesting strat. Okay. Wait, what? Oh, that's so risky. Oh my god. Oh my god. So what do you? Oh, that's so clean. Oh my god. Shoutouts to WuSeagal, by the way. So here in this section we need to do a rope storage. There's a few methods to do that rope storage. What Wu did is like, okay, let me go back a few hours into the run. So what happens with the rope storage? You will hold the storage of that rope as long as you don't touch any other rope. What Wu did just now is that he touched a rope, but with it's probably the iframes of the talisman that it makes you go through a rope and not touch it, but it's kind of RNG to do it, and props for him to doing that. That's insane. And he goes through it without canceling the rope storage. So amazing, by the way. And here, what Wu just unlocked in the skill tree is the enhanced talisman, enhanced water flow in this case, which it's the same as the regular water flow I told you earlier, that it leaves a talisman and explodes after a while without having to charge it. But in this case, instead of utilizing 2 charges, it uses only 1, which will make a lot of the fights way more. At least for this one. For this one, it's broken water flow because it keeps on stun locking the boss, and you will see that quite soon. So yeah. This is she, who just for some reason grew twice his size, and will be slapping them. She is basically a pseudo immortal guy who, yeah, he was used for the original Yanhuo cure thing that ended up being a virus, which is why every enemy will be corrupted from now on. Oh, man, I'm butchering this place, just oh my god. Anyways, but yeah, the main mechanic of this fight is basically parrying all the time the knives that she will be throwing. And one of the interesting things that you can do, ooh, that was a clean one. That was a clean parry. Water flow, like in general, all the talismans will stun lock she on the start animation. But for some reason, it will be stunned as long as you hold the talisman. So, in special with water flow, you can just keep stun locking she for a long time, and that can be chained many times as long as you have the key charges and you are fast enough. And so that basically makes the fight quite quick. Also, one of the other things that you can do, and the bow will 100% stun lock She, so you can use that to your advantage to skip some of the awful attacks. And something that you can see right now, I mentioned slightly a few seconds ago, is that you can parry She multiple times with first an unbounded counter and then Tai Chi Kick to get twice the internal damage that you will get normally by just doing a Tai Chi Kick. And as you can see throughout the domination phase, where she's throwing all the orbs around and you have to parry one of them, ideally we want the potion one because it can give you either both charges or healing in case we need it. Ideally we won't be needing it, but this fight is kind of treacherous. There's also a funny bug that happens with this fight. Oh, nice one. So that's another fun interaction. You can just unbound the counter the black hole and remain inside. So yeah, there's some fun interaction that happens by unbounded countering the knives, which for some reason sometimes it, or is it she? I don't know which one it is, but it sometimes makes the knives desync and they will hit you from really awful positions for some reason. I think that's on a chunk of the old patches. By the way, if you're interested in running old patches, you can just put the Steam branch for it, in case you have a Steam version, of course. If you don't, I'm sorry. That was a... Ow! Okay, there we go. Oh, that was a close fight. Oh my. But nice one. There's one particular issue with this and the next two fights, that the enemies have a way lot more of HP, and for this one fight in particular, it's insanely. I think this is the time. No, I think this is the boss with the highest HP for a single phase. More than the final boss even. The final boss has like 7,000 HP and this one has 10k HP. So this one has only 2 phases. Cut content, by the way. I really, because I think it was intended to have 3 phases, but thankfully it has 2 only. But I don't know. Anyways, these fights can drag out for long, especially in the any percent categories. So okay. After she's seal area, we will be grabbing his hair that he conveniently dropped in the place of his death. And that hair will be used to craft an antivirus thing for the enemies of the last area of the game that we can't go through yet. So we need 2 components. One is that she hairs, and the next one is the one that we'll be getting after the next boss fight, which is the serum, the Tianhuo serum, I believe it's called. I don't remember. But anyway, anyways, here we'll be doing a funny little skip, minor skip that we found with a few other members. By the way, big shoutouts to the Nine Souls speedrun community. Waffles, Sansu, Nebula, Dex, and a lot more of our people. Sherplon. There's been a lot of discoveries, surprisingly. Even though this game is quite glitchy, there's been a lot of discoveries throughout the story of this game. This game is a year old only. It's almost a year old. It will be a year old in May, I believe, 29th. Definitely going for minor skip, and a really clever one. I haven't seen this one till yesterday, surprisingly. And so remember, we got Swift Descent a few an hour ago, I guess. So we will be using that for going through the lasers, and specifically what is happening here. So the way the skip that we're doing right now works is that we're avoiding to. That was perfect. Oh my god. And so the way this skip, the minor skip works is that we're trying to avoid resetting our respawn point. So by doing swift descent and by doing dashes in specific points without moving or by touching unsafe areas, we won't be respawning. We won't be setting the respawn point. So we can use that to go through the entire area without resetting the respawn point, do a rope storage, and then respawn at the top to use that rope storage and clean. Oh my god, when did you get that ledge? I haven't seen. So yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, you don't respawn, you get the rope storage, you respawn, and then you skip an entire a mini boss fight right away, and an entirety of a really long room to go around. So yeah, that's another usage that we just saw of triple jump. Right now we're going to the next soul seal, which is Fuxis. We just skipped the entirety of a wrist right area by doing that triple jump, and we're getting the soul seal right now. This one is the one that people don't like because it's why do we do that? We can skip that, but it's a nice chill point of a run. I mean, it makes it longer, but how much longer? It's already a 2 hours run at this point. Anyways, here we get some lore of one of the Feng's siblings. Will be fighting the Fengs after this seal and after a really long cutscene. Yeah, of course, it's required for the category, but that's what I mean. Okay. So after this cutscene, we'll be again grabbing a ledge storage, which will be carrying through a cutscene. Which I mean, watching the cutscene doesn't really do much, but you have the ledge storage through it, and then we'll be doing a set of triple jumps to skip an entire fight arena twice because there's 2 fights on that arena. And oh, by the way, cutscene. And we can access the boss fight right away without having to go all the way around through the map. Oh, I haven't thought of grabbing that one ledge. Oh, right. Makes sense. Wow, wow. Not yet, not yet. That's later. Okay, cutscene time. Hydration. I'll take a small rest in the meantime. Hydration check.
变身，
板桥，
变身，滚到你们梯，开幕，叫车全世下，奴役不救人安存。滚为几把菜，变身，侬睇滚水。
Yeah, more lore time. I highly recommend playing through this game. The lore is insanely good.
不定，你滚水。
Not yet, not yet. The wow is later. Okay, back to the present. And we can do a triple jump again to skip the entire next section, which is a forced fight. Not as forced apparently because we're just skipping it. And another forced fight, and then another forced walk through the right, and then another. It's insane. This find was a really cool one. The ledge storage. So that was the entirety of Empyrean District with 4 triple jumps. 5, I believe, sorry. Or is it 3? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's 4, I believe. With the triple jump, by the way, you can also skip this fight if anyone is interested in not doing it with a triple jump in and a triple jump out. Yeah, this is one of the toughest fights of the run because all the damages this boss does are pretty much one shot, at least on the vanilla HP values that we have on this run in particular. Wow. So yeah, this fight is kind of rough. I liked it normally. Funnily enough, I had less troubles with this fight than the She fight on my casual play. But I know it's not the usual case for other people. Yeah, this fight is rough. This will be mostly a big usage of Swift Descent and Unbounded counter to deal the most internal damage as possible. At least in the first phase, because the second phase will have something funny, which is not. I'm not sure anymore actually, but it's not the quickest ways of dealing with the fight, but it's definitely the safest, extremely safe. So yeah, we want to deal with this phase as quick as we can. As you can see, that 1 or 2 hits dealt a lot of damage. Right, like right now we're on one-shot range by almost 90% of its attacks. So we will probably be playing quite safely from now. Try to kill him on the left side. Ah, what? How? I saw that parry. What happened? Yeah, perks of speedrunning. Being under level for mostly everything. Fun. So yeah, back to the funny. It was almost too close to the cheese. I will let you concentrate for this one, sorry. Ah. Yeah, as I said, this fight is quite reckless. As soon as you hit, as soon as you miss a single parry, I mean, even if you don't perfect parry it, you're on one-shot range, so it's a really punishing fight. Revival, the problem with Revival Shade is that it doesn't block any extra damage that it does. So if you're in something like the fire or anything like that, you will be destroyed immediately. That's why I don't like it personally. It's a rough shade. If it gave iframes or something like that for a little longer time or something, maybe. But it's kind of treacherous. Ouch. Ah. Okay. So, phase 2 will be seeing an interesting thing that happens in this fight. For some reason, we can break the Fuxi AI, the Feng's AI. Like Fuxi will be walking to us and Nuwa will be not attacking for some reason, as long as we don't finish a full combo in this state. or as long as we don't let a full combo animation finish. So what we will be doing is that he will be doing a triple combo, and then the first slash will be interrupted with a jump, and then he will be continuing that full combo entirely. As long as you don't finish it, it will not do anything, so you can just cheese this phase entirely. Okay, that was a better attempt of it. It's I'm not sure he was trying to Foxy skip, but yeah, you can see both this and the previous boss fight cutscene by hitting a well-timed pause, I believe. I honestly never learned that once, so I'm not sure. But yeah. By the way, that enemy AI can happen with a lot of other normal enemies for some reason. I don't know what are the conditions for that. Because I remember I had it happen with one of the mini bosses in the abandoned mines. And I saw it happen by someone else in one of the Red Tiger elites that you can fight in the game. And other normal enemies, I believe. So yeah. This is the tragic soulscape of Nuwa, the Wawa girl. So yeah, this is the last CL we'll be getting in the run. We're still missing one boss fight. I'm not sure if we was going to do it before or after the point of no return, which will be hitting soon. I believe he will be doing it right now before the access to the point of no return. So yeah, this fight enables us the Tianhuo serum, which is the vaccine for the virus, or kinda, I guess, because it's not really. But we can use that and she hair craft a super mutant bastard, according to Kwafu, the one who will be crafting it for us. And that will be used to kill these pink enemies. By the way, you're just seeing it. I'm probably a minute behind us. You can see it on the maps. So yeah, all these enemies are basically mutants that got affected by the virus that the last soul we're going to fight inflicted them with. So yeah, we get the. I think there's not much to say from here on. I think I said most of what's there to say, or at least that I can imagine. So yeah, here we're getting the Super Mutant Buster, and then let me see. Oh yeah, the dying person. There's been a dying person on the pavilion for like a few segments at this point. It's funny because there's one cutscene where she's dying, and like you saw it earlier on the run, where she's dying, Yi is dying, and you can hear the coughing of the other guy also dying in the background, which you never heard. It's like really weird, but yeah, it's one of the village of the intro of the game. That is actually the NPC that will help you with the health upgrades, which you casually ignore in this run. So yeah. So last shopping of the run. I'm not sure if who is going to buy. Oh, you buy the transmute on key here. Okay, makes sense. I probably said this on the earlier on, but okay. Here you can see the teleport storage again, where we just glitched the teleport window to use it out of the pavilion later. And we fight the first soul fight of the run, which is the Red Center or Yin Sao fight. This is intended to be one of the first bosses. By the way, this was one of the bosses that was featured in the demo of the game, which had a leaderboard, a challenge leaderboard, and I think we have the world record of this boss fight in the chat right now. Shout out to them. So yeah, we do this boss fight right at the end of the run, which with the skill set we have right now will be quite quicker than doing it earlier in the run. Because we can just unbound counter for extra internal damage, we can Tai Chi kick for more. We don't have internal Tai Chi kick at this point. But yeah, it's one of the really toughest to optimize at this point of the run. Because it dies so quickly, can be optimized in many ways. So yeah. That was a nice fight. And we go back to the root node to teleport storage to the Lake Shaoqi root node, I believe. Amazing. And here we're going to access the last area of the game. This is the closest area that's to that section, at least, that we have access to, because the other one requires activating a whole lot of doors and stuff. We don't go through this run because we skip it, basically. Yeah. So here we go through the Yinglong Canal, I believe it's called, this map. This map is kind of rough to traverse to because it has a lot of random openings everywhere, basically. And yeah, from here we'll be accessing the Tiandao Research Institute. I don't remember if it's Research Institute the first one or the second one, but Tiandao, that's definitely the first one. So in this map, we'll be using the super mutant bastard that we got just a few minutes ago to oh, that's so clever. I never knew we could do that with less stores. That's nice. So yeah. So yeah, we have to kill three mutant plants to open, or more like throw this shell thing. Thinking about it, I don't even know what this shell is even supposed to mean. Maybe the lore says something about it, but yeah, we need to break 3 plants to make that shell drop into the floor and open the area to the next ending place. And we reach the so-called point of no return. Here we have the access to our last root node. We do get this root node, by the way. And this is where the game tells us that we can't go back. So we ideally want to solve any unfinished matters before entering this place. But it doesn't really matter that much because the game will let us go back after finishing the game, even back to this point of the story. Anyways, so we can finish the game, and if we want to redo the ending, we can just go back. So yeah, this section is kind of something. And prepare yourself because there's an extremely long cutscene from now. So I hope you take a really good mental break. I hope you hydrate yourself as usual. And yeah, here is where we're going to get, in theory, our last soul seal, but actually we're being stole from all of the soul seals we obtained fairly and legally up till now. So yeah, last soul is going to slap us in the face. Yeah. And there's going to be a really long cutscene, so time to stretch and enjoy the last few minutes of the run. Yeah, it's right. Actually, I'm not sure if it's quite right, if it's good. I personally believe like it's a really rough spot because it's right at the end of a run. So you will probably be quite excited to finish the run, and taking a break right at this point, it's like it might throw you off from the last phase of the run. So it's a kind of a rough spot. So yeah, I'll take a small breath. I hope you would too. Quick break.
King?
半强，滚！
哎，
引走啊！
走，滚杯了。
滚才要来乱走。
Okay. So a little sibling discussion on the lore side of the game.
不行，
This is one of the huge breaking points also. I still insist you should play this game. It has an amazing story, amazing soundtrack, amazing gameplay. So yeah, if you can take the chance, do it. If you having struggles with the gameplay, you can turn it down. It has an story mode option that lets you lower the damage you receive and increase the damage you do. So in case you find the fights too hard or too tedious, you can do that if you want. So it's quite nice. Okay, so we see all the bosses we slapped in the face recently right now in the background. But why is it not called 10 souls instead of 9 souls? Anyway. So right next to this will be the toughest fight section of the run. Because Kwafu is alive, by the way. And anyways. Where was I? Yeah, this is the most painful section of the run. Because besides being a really difficult fight right next to this, the UI is removed for some reason. Who knows why? Probably if horror the effect idea. I don't know, but yeah. I will probably let Uwu concentrate during this entire segment because it's really difficult. And yeah, enjoy, I guess. Okay. Clean hallway, by the way. Nice. Back to our usual programming. Hello, everyone. So yeah, there's a few skips left. We will be skipping one of the next fights by just doing a talisman jump. Oh, was close to doing the fight. So yeah, we skip the fight with the talisman, and we'll be skipping the next fight by doing another triple jump, a really big one because this next fight is extremely long and quite tedious. And surprisingly, your teleport storage is not that broken, but we will be using that to go back to a pavilion. And that was a nice triple jump, amazing. So all that's left is the final boss fight now. So I haven't mentioned this before actually, but we got an item when we were fight before we fought the Soul Chi, and we're going to be using that shade on this run. What does that shade do? Divine shade. They have divine hand shade. Sorry, I'm trying to tie my two neurons together. That shade lets us continue doing unbounded counters as long as we do a successful unbound counter with some few times frames. So what will that mean for the last boss fight? It means that that this fight in particular tends to do a lot of multi-strike hit. So we can abuse that with many successful unbundled counters to deal a ton of internal damage. We can also hit like it hits really hard. It's one of the most broken shades for this fight. So yeah, this is the last boss fight of a run. So sorry, I tried my best. So yeah, we'll be stripping here for sure. And yeah. Oh, interesting. We will get Hassan's talisman. So yeah. This is the last boss fight of a run. It's pretty much a test of what you learn. It's like a one-on-one on literally the same skill set as you will have. So yeah, it's basically your mentor fighting you, and you have to step up your game to beat her. So yeah, I believe it's 4 minutes from now at most, and we should be ready to our time. And so be ready just in case after this fight. So yeah, cutscenes, a lot of cutscenes, and one of the most fights, one of the most interesting and fun fights of the game, in my opinion. In most people's opinion, I know most people hate this fight, and there's a lot of people that really love this fight. But yeah, it's a really dividing fight, that's for sure. Yeah, we basically want to take as much advantage of unbounded counter as we can to deal a lot of internal damage. Oh. And you can notice that she does like a charge attack with a red thing. If it shows a talisman, she will be doing the dash into a talisman. If she does a red blow thing, she will doing the charge attack that jumps and makes a big explosion. You want to take a lot of attention to that attack, otherwise it might blow in your face. I know a lot of people hate this fight. I see a lot of complaints about this fight. I mean, you can't deny that the top 10 reasons. Okay. Phase 2, there's even more chances to use unbundled counter, but it has a lot more of HP, so there's a lot of also a lot of punish for doing unbundled counters, so you want to make sure you don't overdo them. Okay, so yeah, ideally be ready on time just in case, because it might finish quite soon. On the last hit of this fight, as soon as the HP goes to 0. And... ooh. Holy... that was a clean fight! Ooh, time! Congrats, that's amazing. Oh my god. So really, that was a really nice fight and run overall. GG's everyone, by the way. Really nice run. Really nice showcase by the hand of WuSeagal. Insane run. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the All Souls and Seals showcase for 9 Souls. And yeah. Anything to say, Wu? I don't want to take your words for it.
And thanks for Petit for having me for this showcase. And also thanks for Ember for being my commentator. Also there is
Yep.
some tech issue during the run, but yeah, I think it's still a good run. Thanks.
Yeah. Great job.
Yeah,
Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about what you're doing? Anyone you want to shout out?
No.
In my case, yeah, the Nine Souls community, like big thanks as usual for supporting everyone in the community and the runs and everything. And thanks Wu for letting me commentate this run. Big thanks on trusting. And yeah, and thanks for the support of on the showcase in your side. Sorry for I know the technical issues. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no worries. And all right. In that case, I think we're gonna raid over to Draconeer, community member who is doing it's like Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask combo randomizer.
Ooh.
So yeah, thanks both of you for the run and the commentary, and everybody else. Look forward to our schedule for the FWA marathon that's coming up in the next couple weeks.
Bye bye.